Hello, we're here today to give you a general overview of the Heat King mobile glycol heating system manufactured by Tamarack Industries. Tamarack Industries manufactures 3 different models. The one featured here today is the HK500 with 500,000 BTU of output. They also manufacture an HK300 with 300,000 BTU of output and a HK150 with 150,000 BTUs of output. All the trailers are mobile trailer application. They have forklift pockets. The 300 and the 150 have lifting hooks as well. They are all towable and typically come with a generator on the hitch for powering. This model here does not have a generator right now. That is an option, typically purchased by all the customers. We're going to do a general inspection inside, and we'll show you the internal components on the heater. We've now opened the left side access panel on the HK500. We're going to show you the components that reside inside here. If we the first thing we see on here is the glycol tank. Glycol tank contains a 50-50 mixture of water and propylene glycol. Featured here is a sight glass, which just gives you an indication of the level of coolant within the glycol tank. The circulation pump shown here, pump and motor, all it does is draw coolant from the tank and sends it through the coils and back into the tank. There's a second loop on this unit. The motor and pump are in the back here. What that does is draw the heated coolant from the tank and sends it to the back through the supply and return manifolds, which we will show you in a second shot in a while. Now within this, as we talked about, there's 2 pumps and 2 motors. You can see the burners, number 1 and 2. An HK500 has 2 burners and 2 coils, as opposed to a HK300 and 150, which only have one coil on board. The coils and burners are there just to heat the coolant and dump it back into the tank. You see a fuel filter system which filters the fuel going into the burners. And you see a compressor featured here, which is used for blowing out the fuel loops when you're done the job. A few safety features on this unit. You'll notice there's a low glycol cutoff switch here. And all it does is, if the glycol is too low, it just cuts off the system and shuts it down. There's also a pressure switch on the circulation pump, and the pressure switch again will cut off if it doesn't have any coolant movement, and it will shut the burners off to provide safety for the equipment. On the back, on the output of the 2 coils, there is an aquostat, which is a high limit cutoff. If the temperature exceeds a certain point, that safety also shuts the burners off and does not allow the unit to run. On the left-hand side, there's an electrical control panel. This electrical panel receives the input power and distributes it accordingly. There is an e-stop emergency shut-off on the panel, and there's 2 GFIs and 2 circuit breakers. That's the only thing. All the rest of the controls are done in the rear of the trailer, which we will go to and show you next. We've opened the rear barn doors on the HK500, and we're just going to show you some of the items that you'll see here. First and foremost is the rear control panel. This is the operator panel. All the operation of the unit is handled through this panel. We will go through the panel and its operation in an operation video to follow this one here. Just to the right of the panel, you have your hose reel. On an HK500, you have 8 loops of 700-foot hose. This is the largest heater. The HK300 has 4 loops of 700, and the 150 has 2 loops of 700-foot hose. The reel can be operated freewheel if you want, or it can be controlled through a foot pedal electrically. When you're removing the hose, you just have to loosen off the belt tension, and the hoses can be free-wheeled out to lay it out on the ground. When you bring it back in, you would use your control panel and your foot pedal, and you would reel the hose back in mechanically. There is also a reel lock on the side here. This reel lock is just for transportation. The reel gets locked in with this when you're transporting, just so it doesn't unwind. This would be removed when you are freewheeling or you are using a foot pedal to reel the hose in. The hoses hook up after they're removed. The hoses all hook up to these lower manifolds. This is a supply manifold, and as you can see, there's eight ports on here, and they're all controlled with valves. When a valve is in line, it means it's open. When it's perpendicular, it's a closed position. They all come with female quick disconnects, and the return manifold, which is located just over here, is the same style. It has the male quick connects on it. So a field loop would be connected on the supply side, would be laid out on the ground, and would come back to the return and be brought back into the tank. You also see on here a larger ports. These ports are used if you're going to use a unit heater, connect the unit heater to the unit for heating up inside of a room, which is a different application. The reel is driven through an electric motor in the back, and the gearbox. The motor turns the gearbox for propulsion on the reel itself. If we look below on the bottom, you will see the diesel fuel tank, which supplies fuel for the heater as well as for the generator on the front.